let's start in a seat today to get centered. I'm Bree, if you haven't met me. We're going through about a 40-ish minute flow. So find a comfortable seat. No rules there, anything that works for you. Bring the hands down on your lap to ground your energy. Lengthen up long through your spine. Pull the tops of the ears back into space so that your skull is really kind of balancing in line with the rest of your spine rather than forward. If it feels okay, let your eyelids close and bring the awareness to your center. The center may feel like a place of question. You can think of it as your heart space. Or as the place that your breath is moving to and from. You may immediately notice the breath deepen and lengthen. Continue to manipulate that breath by expanding in both directions through the inhales and the exhales. By choosing to breathe a deeper breath in this moment is a way of actively choosing to say yes to our lives, to saying yes to showing up and being here now. Begin to release any breath that is held in your lungs. HA. Heavy your pelvis down. Inhale, circle sweep, reach your arms up. Exhale, join your hands at a prayer and bring the prayer all the way down to heart center. Anjali Mudra, a prayer. 2 more like that. Inhale, circle sweep, pull the energy up from the earth all the way through the spine. Bring your hands to the prayer, Anjali Mudra. That gesture of offering meets at heart center. Last time, inhale, circle sweep, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to the prayer, come all the way back down, meeting the prayer, maybe even the thumbs at that place of center at your sternum. Let your eyes now softly blink open just a touch. Maybe you're looking at the earth. Bring your palms or your fingers to point forward. Keep the outer edge of your palms touching, so the pinky side of your palms touching, or the outer edge of your hands touching, and open up your hands. So this is like, it's kind of like you're holding a platter of something. It's called Pushpanjali, a second version of Anjali Mudra. Take a moment to think about what you would like to offer up into this space today. It's a symbol of offering. You can think of something tangible or intangible. I offer presence, gratitude, and compassion into this space. Bring your hands back to Anjali Mudra and take a soft bow, forehead to fingertips. Lift your skull up and come all the way down to the ground. So starting with opening up through some supine postures, lay on your back. And when you arrive on your back, stretch out long through your legs. Find like a little mini resting Shavasana shape. Pull the toes back towards your ankles. Begin to reach your left leg up, interlace your hands around your left thigh. This pose is called Supta Padangustasana. Supta is supine. Pada means foot, and so we have hand, it really is hand to big toe pose. Take a few breaths here. From the pelvis, expand out long through your legs. Maybe you create big circles through your toes in one direction. And if you have a strap, that may be something that you will want to use. So I will cue for the strap as an option. I'm not going to use it for my body today, but just know you can use it and I will guide you through it if you have it. Begin to bring your left knee in a little closer towards your chest if that's available to, And grab for the outside edge of your left foot with your left hand. This is where a strap comes in handy. If you cannot grab your foot, maybe put a strap around your foot. If you don't have that option, you can always just grab for your calf. Okay? Press the right thigh bone down. Stay strong through the right thigh. Open up through your left hip. Nice and slow and controlled. From the pelvis, stretch out long through the legs. Notice the quality of your breath as you bring yourself into a deeper expansion. Inhale and breathe into the space in your inner thigh. Begin to guide your leg all the way back up through center. Now holding the strap or your hand, your right hand to the outside edge of the foot, bring your left hand to like a little, if it's making like a little C, your thumb is going to come into the hip crease where your hip and thigh touch, and you're kind of grabbing that outer hip with your hand. Root that left hip down towards the earth so your sacrum is heavy, and just ever so slightly cross your right leg over the body. You're going maybe 10, 20-ish degrees. And you can floss it too, so bringing your leg back up and then crossing it over. Take 3 more like that, bringing it up, crossing it over. Bringing it up, crossing it over. Pause here, breathe. And now release your left arm to a T or to a cactus. Roll slow and controlled all the way over towards the right hip. So keeping the leg straight is going to help you continue to target through the IT band. If you wanted to have more support here, sometimes a twist feels really deep. You could place a block underneath your thigh. So it's essentially bringing, or your shin, so it brings the earth a little closer to you. Breathe. Engage through your core. Inhale, bring that leg all the way back up through center. Adding in just a little core. Bring that right leg to a hover. Interlace your hands behind your skull. Lift your shoulder blades off of the mat. Press your low back down into the ground. Inhale, expand out long through the legs. Exhale, tap your left heel to the right big toe. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap. 3, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower 6, lift, lower 7, lift, lower 8, lift, lower 9, lift, lower 10, and release. Straighten out through the legs. Interlace your hands, or they're already interlaced, I guess, and stretch. Full body expansion. Release your arms by your sides. Reach your right leg up. Interlace your hands around your right thigh. Breathe. Press your thigh into your hand. Notice what happens in your hip when you do that action. Create big circles through your toes, your right toes, if you did so, on the other side. From the pelvis, expand out long through your legs, out through the bones. Take a moment to get curious about what expansion feels like. Bring the right hand to the outside edge of the right foot and open up through your hip. Slow, controlled, stop at any point that feels like a good intensity for you. keep your awareness on your breath. Allow yourself to stay present in this practice, in this flow. Inhale, bring the leg back up to center. Bring the left hand to the foot. Right hand comes to that little like C shape. And the thumb comes in between like the hip and the thigh. It's like it's getting crushed with the thigh. Ground your right side of your hip, the sacrum, and cross the leg over your body. Just a little. And we can pulse it just like we did last time, or we can hold. I'll pulse, but know that you can hold. Listen to your body. Bring the leg back so it's almost in line. Feel the hip ground. Keep the hip grounded and cross it over. And just pulse it like that for 5, 4, 3. Notice the expansion here. 2, 1, and twist. Roll all the way over towards the left. Your right arm is at a T or a cactus. Inhale. Exhale, ground your right shoulder blade down and roll to the outside edge of the left hip, maybe a little more, as that right hip stretches towards the left corner of the mat. Release your foot or the strap. Engage your core. Come all the way back through center. A little core, so lift your shoulder blades off the mat. Interlace your hands. Inhale. Exhale, tap your right heel on the left foot. That left leg is hovering. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap. That's 3. Lift. Lower 4. Lift. Lower 5. Lift. Lower 6, lift. Lower 7, lift. Lower 8, lift. Lower 9, lift. Lower 10, and a full body stretch through the toes, through your hands. Pull your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze. Rock your way up to a seat. Find a tabletop position. As you land in a tabletop, spread through your fingers. Inhale, cow spine, melt through the heart. Getting some spinal movements in here. Exhale, round cat spine flexion. Inhale, cow. As you melt your heart, tug your hands back, broaden through your collarbones. Exhale, round, puff up into the back body, cat spine. 2 more. Inhale, vertebra by vertebra, melt all the way through to cow. Exhale, round, puff up into the back body, cat. Inhale, cow spine, offering your heart up, opening up. Exhale, round, puff up into the back body. Come to a more neutral position. Inhale, open up through that left hip, squeeze your left glute. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. So the sacrum is really stable here. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. If you had a block, you could place it on your sacrum. Let's take 3 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Last one, open. Straighten your left knee, ground your foot. Spread through the toes. Ground the 4 corners of your foot, so not just the inner edge. Ground your forearms. Melt your heart, so find some extension. And you can move that block, or if it's balancing, you can also let it stay there. Now actively tug in. Your left foot pulls in towards the midline here. All right, if you have that block, move it out of the way. Bring your hands underneath your elbows. Pull your right toes in a little and shift your hips back all the way to a seat. Your left toes are pointing straight up now. It's called Janu Sirsasana, head to knee pose. Twist yourself over towards that left leg and bow over your leg. You can grab for your foot, your shin. Maybe you use a little resistance with your left hand to the outside edge of your shin. Breathe. Rewind, make it a nice open side bend. Left hand to the foot or the outside edge of your inside edge of your shin. Reach your right arm way up in line with your ear. Side body opening. Heavy down into the right hip and reach long through the right side body. Heavy your pelvis down, inhale, rise up, ground your right hand, lift through your hips, lift through your heart, little stargazer pose. And as you exhale, ground your left hand, the hips are still up. Glide your hands all the way back through and land in a tabletop position. Second side. So if you use that block, set yourself up. Inhale, open up through your right hip. Squeeze the right glute. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. 3 more, open. Close. Open. Close, open, squeeze it, and straighten out through the leg, ground the 4 corners of your right foot. For reference, your foot and your left knee are roughly in line with each other. Send your hips back just a touch and bring your forearms to the earth, melt your heart. And breathe. We show up on the mat to build a sense of presence, a way to be with ourselves, with our minds. And sometimes even showing up on the mat can be a form of like trying to escape, but rather than looking at it as an escape from the world, think of it as like an invitation in deeper to your psyche, to yourself. Reconnect your hands underneath your elbows, move your block, shift your hips back. That left toe comes in so you can have space for the bum to ground. I'll pivot a little bit so you can see me. And twist yourself towards that right leg, inhale. Exhale, fold over your thigh, compress. Breathe. Take another inhalation in this forward fold, Janu Sirsasana. Bring the right hand to the foot. Inhale, reach your left arm all the way up and reach it way in line with your ear. Side body stretch. Heavy down into your left sit bone. Come up, ground your left hand, lift through your hips, lift through your heart. Little trickier transition here. Ground your right hand down, so you're taking almost like a side plank. Reach it all the way long until your hand comes down. Sweep your hands all the way around until you land back in a tabletop position. Pull your leg back in through center. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Sorry about that. As you land in a dog pose, pedal it out. First down dog of the day. As you push one heel down and then the other, stretch through the backs of your legs. Get really strong through the hands. Maybe you look up at your hands to see that they're active. That point your finger knuckle base of the palm, it pushes down into the earth. Here we go. Inhale, come high onto your tiptoes. Exhale like a wave. Come all the way forward to a plank. Press the earth away. Shift your shoulders past your wrists. Lower all the way down to the earth. Heavy your pelvis. Inhale, rise up through cobra. It could be low, or you can bring it high. Tug the hands back. Exhale, fold. 2 more like that. Inhale, rise up, cobra pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen up, cobra pose. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, down dog. Inhale, reach your right leg high. Exhale, bend your right knee and open up to your right hip. Work to stack your hips here. Lift up through the left shoulder so your shoulders are staying relatively neutral. Inhale, straighten your leg. Square your hip, point your toes straight down. Exhale, pull your knee towards your nose, round. Plant your foot in between your hands. Come onto a block on the inside edge of your front foot. Straighten out through your right leg. Pull your right hip back as you wrap your left hip forward. So we're working on the inner thighs and the IT band today. So through that, we got to touch on the hamstrings a little bit. But here we go. Pivot your back heel down and bend into your back left knee. You can walk your block back or your fingertips. Flex your right toes up, crouching tiger. We did this last week. Reach your left arm high if you'd like, a little twist. Point your toes straight up towards the sky, those right toes. Ground your hands on the inside edge, and ground your hands down in between your legs. And bend into your right knee and your left knee. So a little inner thigh here. Right knee, left knee, right knee, and left knee. Once you land towards the left, stay there. Bring both hands towards the left. Spin both feet towards the left and straighten out through your left leg. Again, you could be using that block if you wanted. I'm elevated off of my back heel, but you don't have to be. So to target the IT band, we're gonna keep going here. So trust that your body will stop when it's like no more. Bring your hands to the outside edge of your left foot. Keep spinning and walking your fingertips towards the left. You're going to pivot to the outside edge of both of your feet. Stay strong through your feet, so flex your toes back towards your ankles. Really, the front left IT bend is going to get a little bit more action here. And now we're going to rewind. So walk your hands all the way towards the left. Pivot your right heel down. Bend into your right knee. Flex your left toes high to the sky. Crouching tiger. Maybe you reach your right arm high. Ground your left foot. Bring both hands down. Bring both hands towards the right. Spin both toes or feet towards the right. Keep going. Walk your hands towards the right. Come to the knife edge or the outside edge of your feet. The pinky toe side here. Breathe. I know there's some intensity here. Come all the way back, facing the front of the mat. Bend into your front knee. Step up, forward fold, Uttanasana. Let yourself hang here for a moment and assimilate what just happened in your legs. You can sway a little bit side to side or back and forth with the weight of the upper body or the structure of the lower body. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the sides of your waist. Exhale, folds. Press into the earth. Inhale, circle sweep. Reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, bring your palms to heart center. Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, grab your right wrist, side bend up and over towards the left. Hug on your wrist. Stay strong through your legs. Inhale, come back up through center. Switch your clasp and take that side bend up and over the other way. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, release. And bring your weight over towards your right foot. Pull your left knee in towards your chest. And open up through the hip, grab your ankle and bring your foot to your inner thigh. Squeeze your foot and your inner thigh towards the midline so that hip, that standing hip squeezes in, or that right hip squeezes in. Join your hands at Anjali Mudra. You could bring Anjali Mudra above head, bring your arms out wide, whatever feels good here. Find your breath. From the pelvis, stretch down and out through your standing leg. Now, release your foot, but keep the knee lifted. So your foot's going to go wide. Pull the sole of your foot back in, so it's kind of like it's trying to touch the inner thigh, but it's not. There's like a piece of paper in between the thigh and the foot. Widen your knee away from you, your left knee, and feel that glute really engage on the outer hip. Maybe you lift up a little bit higher through your foot. Good. From the pelvis, stretch out long through your left knee. Pull the knee up, close the hip. Release. Second side, spread through your toes. Step it over to the opposite foot. Pull your opposite knee in. Open up, and you can grab your ankle for this one, which I think is the much easier. Vrikshasana, tree pose. Join your hands at a prayer. Actively pull energy up from the earth through your left foot into the pelvis. It's like your standing leg is the trunk. Think about the qualities that come with the trunk. Stability, strength. And breathe. All right, so the more active tree. Release the foot and then pull the sole of the foot back in towards the midline. From the pelvis, stretch down and out through your standing leg. Lengthen through your spine, widen your right knee away from you. Breathe. Squeeze the outer right glute to help with the expansion here. One more breath. Bring the knee up a little bit, close to the hip, and release. Tadasana, mountain pose. Breathe. Inhale, circle sweep, reach your arms high. Exhale, join your hands at a prayer, Anjali Mudra, the symbol of offering. Open your hands like a book. Bring your hands forward, push Panjali. What do you have to offer up for your practice to yourself and off of the mat into the world today? Bring your hands back to a prayer, soft bow. Begin to hinge at your hips, stick your butt out to hinge. Come all the way to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the sides of your waist. Exhale, fold. Step your left leg back. Heel toe your right toes over towards the right. Lower your left knee down, twisted monkey. Reach your right arm up and around to grab for your foot thigh stretch. Pull your bottom shoulder back, lean back, breathe. Release your foot. Bring your hand forward. Now heel toe your right toes in and bring your leg to kind of like you're setting up for a pigeon pose, but roll your weight over to the right hip. Bring your front leg parallel to the front of the mat. Pull your back leg in so you're about 90-90 shin box here. Before folding, lift your back heel up. So this creates an internal rotation through your hip. And if it's hard at first, know that it will land. You just have to send the energy from the brain to your foot to get the action to happen. So pulse it for a few more times. Breathe. Ground that foot. Lift your knee up, glute activation, and your knee might be just lifting 4 to 6 inches, so not very high. Pause with it open, hold it. Ground your knee. Come forward over your shin. Bring your forearms to the ground. Press more into your right forearm so that you're really coming over your shin, more in a straight position rather than rolling over the right knee. Breathe. Inhale, come all the way back up. So we're taking it to the back of the mat. Well, first actually, bring your arms behind you and take a few windshield wipers. Releasing any tension that build up. Now take it all the way to the back of the mat. Land yourself in that 90-90 hip stretch. We'll get to the thigh stretch, but pause here, inhale. And as you exhale, start to lift. Heel up. The back heel lifts to create engagement on a muscle called your TFL. So your TFL, called your tender fascia latae, and it's a little kind of small muscle on the outer edge of your hip that connects to the IT band. So the IT band is like a tendon. It's like a thick, really big tendon. So we can't really like stretch it per se all that much. We can try, but what we really can do is get into this other muscle that we're working on activating to help kind of pull the tension off of the IT band. Ground the heel. I think that was enough. Lift your knee. So again, only lifting about 4 inches. The pelvis is pretty stationary here. This motion is coming from the legs. Breathe. Begin to release that knee. Come forward and allow yourself to go over your front shin. Notice the quality of your breath in this moment. Is there a way that you can refine it? Take about 4 more deep breaths. If you're looking for more activation, press into that left forearm. Inhale, come all the way up. Bring your arms behind you. Take those little windshield wipers. So now a moment for releasing any tension that has held in that TFL. You're bringing your legs all the way back to where they were, towards the front of the mat. Your left leg is internally rotated. So from the top of your hip point, that big kind of bony marker of the hip, go down about maybe 2 inches, 2-3 inches, and start poking around. And once you go down, you may need to go forward or back a little bit, depending on what the position of your leg is, but you're gonna try to find something that's just a little bit angry. It's typically, the TFL is typically overused, so just kind of poke around in there, reminding it to soften, right? Little self-massage, little self-love. If you can't find it and you're like, Bree, what is it? Just keep poking, keep searching, you'll find it. If it's not that grumpy in your body, great, good news. All right, second side. Take the knees over the opposite way. Now the right leg is internally rotated again. From the hip point, going down about 2 inches, and I like to say back about 1 inch or 2. Depending on where you're at on your hip, it could be just straight down or forward based off where you're started. But you should be able to find it. And normally, one side is a little bit more grumpy than the other side. So accepting, right? Part of presence is just accepting where our body's at in that grumpiness, but then breathing into it. Maybe it's not a rubbing sensation, but maybe it's just putting pressure into it. Some of my colleagues will use their elbow and press their elbow into this space. All right, bring it all the way towards the front. Come up a little bit onto your knees until you can bring your hands to the mat and bring it back tabletop. You guys know I'm not the queen of fancy transitions, so here we are, down dog. Reach your left leg up to the outside edge of your left pinky finger. Lower your back knee, reach your left arm up and around to grab for your foot. Thigh stretch on the other side. Pull your heel towards the bottom for more sensation. Kick your foot into your hand for more activation. Release your foot. Step up to a Malasana squat. Come down, ground your hips. Bring your feet forward, ground your feet. And come to lie all the way down on your mat. As you land on your back, pause. Notice how you feel. Pull your knees in. Happy baby, grab for the ankles, thighs, or outside edges of the feet, and you can just hold it. You can rock it. You can straighten out through one or both legs. We've done lots of inner thigh opening here. And pause. Hold your baby either with the legs straight and wide or with your knees bent. Actively press your feet into your hands. Bring your knees all the way in. Close your hips. Lift your shoulder blades off the mat. Give yourself a squeeze. Inhale. Exhale. Stretch your legs out long and your arms by your sides for a Shavasana shape. Release breath held in your lungs. HA. Inhale through the nose. Big, cleanse it out, HA. Take the next few moments to just rest and be in your Shavasana shape as long as you would like. Drop your tongue down from the roof of the mouth. Relax through the muscles on your face. Shavasana. If you have a little bit longer to rest and be in Shavasana, give yourself that time for another minute or two. If you have somewhere you have to be, or you just feel ready to wake up, feel free to wiggle through the fingers, the toes, the wrists, the ankles, any movements that feel good. Maybe it's little shakes through the body. You'll slowly make your way to a seat any way you want to get there, whether it's through rolling off to the side, finding a fetal position, or rocking your way up. All ways will get you there. Coming back to Anjali Mudra one last time. The hands don't press really hard into each other, but rather there's a softness there. As we bring our offerings forward with intention and with softness, trusting that all will happen in time, trusting the process. Bring your thumb up to your third eye, take a breath in, big exhale. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.